Hey fellow backyard boyers, Nick here. So today I'm going to be making a Maori style wood carving chisel called a Whao. I'm just going to be cutting this piece here. I'm going to be using diamond tools and then I'm going to haft it in a wooden handle. So let's get started. First I'm going to work on the blade or the bit for this chisel. I've marked about 1.5 centimeters on this side. That way I have a nice chisel blade here and I can use this for another carving. Now I'm going to start by cutting this with this diamond cutoff wheel, and all of the diamond tools and this flex shaft that I'm using I picked up at Harbor Freight for about $50, which is not a lot of money to get started. And if you wanted to, you could even start off with a Dremel tool or something similar. So before I get started, stone dust can be dangerous, and there's a lot of debate on whether breathing jade dust is similar to asbestos dust. So it's always a good idea to have good lung protection. And I've got this little dish of water I'm going to be using to dip the stone periodically to keep it wet and to keep the dust down. It'll also keep this cool so it doesn't overheat and so my bit doesn't overheat. So here we go. So now that I've cut this, I've got a diamond sharpening stone that I picked up from Harbor Freight. It's really inexpensive, but what's nice about it is it goes from 200 all the way to 600 grit. So I'm going to use this to true up my edges and clean up the flats. So now that all the faces are smoothed out at 200 grit, I'm going to use a diamond wheel to put in my primary edge bevel. Once I've got that roughed in, I'm going to go back to the sharpening stone and bring it up to 600 grit to finish it off. Alright, so now that I've got my bevel roughed in, I'm going to finish it off on the stone. And I'm going to finish it off with some 1200 grit sandpaper. So now that the bit is finished, I've taken a piece of zebra wood, pretty much any hardwood would work for this, and I've just marked about halfway down the bit for my depth and then the thickness of the bit, and I'm going to cut this out so that we can place the bit in here and brace it against the wood. There we go. Now I'm going to use the belt sander to smooth down the handle, round it out a little bit so that it's more comfortable to hold. And I'm going to keep this end a little on the thick side so that it can be struck with a mallet. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue to hold this in place, and then I'm going to wrap over it. Now I'm just going to finish off the handle with some beeswax mixed with mineral oil, just as a finish for the wood. And then I'm going to wrap it with some waxed hemp. I've gone ahead and wrapped right underneath this brace here just to keep it from splitting. And then I've also wrapped on the butt end to keep this from splitting out when the end is struck with a mallet. So here it is. So here it is, all finished up. I really like the way it turned out, and I'm not really experienced with using chisels all that much, but I'm trying to learn and planning to practice a little bit more. So let me know if you guys have any suggestions for other things you'd like to see me make out of jade. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.